Just finished yapping.
Mute. Let me see if I can find it. There we go.
Greetings, everyone. Happy New Year. I see that 59 people have logged into our Ubuntu Planet USA January kickoff session. We're super excited to be with you tonight. We have so many great updates for you, and we certainly expect that 2017 is going to be one amazing year. So hang on tight as we go through all of the different updates and ways that you can become involved in Ubuntu Planet USA to change the world in a way we all want to see manifested in the very near future. So I'll quickly go over our agenda and then I'll turn things over to Rebecca. So we are going to open up with our meditation. It's a great way, and so many of you have given us that feedback of it's a great way to start our sessions, to just really unify our hearts, our words, our actions, leaving these sessions and moving forward in the month until we meet again. We have several news and updates on our websites, books, the events that are coming up. We are expecting one more person to show up on the panel of presenters, which is Brandon. Pauline may or may not be showing up. Little tech snafu, so she might be joining us too to give us updates on promotion. We have some ideas for you in regards of getting involved, so that's the U in Ubuntu. We also put all of our social media links. We have a new person on that team who's taken over for the fantastic social media ambassador who was leading the charge. And we've consolidated all those links for you. So you might not be able to link on them in the presentation, but when you receive the PDF file in your email after the meeting today, you'll be able to quickly use those links and get access to the different social media points that we're currently on. We'll leave time at the end for questions and then also share with you when our next meeting is happening. So hopefully that sounds good to the 76 of you who have joined us tonight, and for anybody who's listening to the recording. So like we mentioned, we're going to open up with a meditation. So I'm going to hop off the microphone so Rebecca can hop on. Greetings, everyone. We're glad to see you all here.
Yeah. Wow, so wonderful to be here with the energy of all of you guys. This is fantastic. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for creating the space for us to connect in this kind of a way with the meditation. So I invite you to receive a deep breath. You can keep your eyes open or close them, whatever works for you. Just begin to feel the energy of all of us here together. Feel the energy of Ubuntu moving through us, creating through us. Feel the energy of the earth rejoicing as we receive this Ubuntu energy. Allow yourself to receive energy and light from above as the universal source energy flows in, also thrilled with our willingness to receive the energy of Ubuntu, the transformational energy of Ubuntu. Allow that actually to sink down all the way into your core, maybe filling into your heart space. Begin to feel how we are all connected through that heart space. That we can almost reach out and touch each other energetically because of this connection that we have. Allow yourself to just be in this energy of unity, collaboration, community, and creation. And I invite all of us to be fully present here in this energy of unity, combining our efforts to create the world that we all want to live in. And with that, I invite us to be present right here, right now. All right, so do I keep going? Or am I passing this on to Star? Where are we going from here?
Thank you very much, Rebecca, for centering all of us for our time together tonight. So yes, we will move on through the agenda with the news and updates. So I'm just going to allow you to just let me know when you want the slides to move, and I can do that for you. And okay. I'll turn it back to you.
Okay. So I'm not seeing, for some reason, I have this message saying that I'm not seeing what you're seeing, but I have the PowerPoint on my desk, so I'm just going to so for news and updates, things are actually incredibly exciting, and I know that you all can feel that. There are many, many countries actively seeking Michael's attention and want to be part of Ubuntu and the movement. There are, I think we said last month already, that there are 58 countries who have active team roles, and Star and I have been connecting with some of those country teams and supporting each other, which is incredibly exciting. I have on this slide here that there are 144 countries, which that may be more. Michael's so busy that he wasn't able to confirm one way or the other, but I know that he has mentioned that number in the past. So things are very exciting. Brandon will be talking, hopefully, if he gets here, Brandon will be talking about the One Small Town that's getting ready to launch, and Brazil, which is already basically doing its stuff. I'm sure that you guys can feel, that you all can feel the energy of this movement, that it's expanding, that it's taking on its own energy and moving itself forward, and we get to participate with that, which is so exciting. Star, do you wanna?
Yeah, I think the other thing that we can all feel is just the change in the air. You know, this year, I think the potential for change this year in our country especially is very high, and I think that people are more primed than ever for a way out of the chaos, you know, and a way back to each other and living in peace, in community, starting to trust each other again, starting to look each other in the eye again, instead of at our cell phones or being fearful of each other all the time. You know, I think we really have such a great potential right now to move in the direction of fear, or move in the opposite direction of love and of recognizing our interconnection and our unification and our unity with each other. And so, as Rebecca was saying, a lot of people are more open than ever to take the leap into a new social paradigm such as Ubuntu. And we will be talking later about some cities in Brazil who have already agreed to work directly with us and with Michael to transition their communities over to Ubuntu-based cities and towns. So we'll be sharing a little bit more about that later. But yeah, exactly what you're saying, Rebecca. I think if you can't feel the change in the air, then maybe you've had one too many cocktails or something, because it's there. It's pretty exciting to be able to see what's going to happen this year.
Yeah, well, and for me just to be part of this is incredibly thrilling. I'm honored and thrilled that the energy has chosen me to be part of this, and that I've listened and stepped up and said, yes, I want to be part of this and do my part. So more news and updates. We do find we got books in the United States, and I am heading that up, and I'm also working with state coordinators and actually trying to combine the two. So if you are interested in selling books and being a state coordinator, that's fantastic. However, it's not limited to just state coordinators. So if you're interested in, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in Ubuntu and You, how you can get involved and how you can use the books as a really great way to engage people with the concepts of Ubuntu. And we're continuing to look for core team members, which will come down after we introduce our new folks. So Allison, we can go to the next slide. Yeah. Oh, sorry, you might be there. I'm not there. So, sorry about that. All right, so new team members. You'll have to let me know when you've changed slides so that I know it. Sorry about that. So we have David Montenay, and hopefully I'm putting the accent in the right place. He's our new public relations ambassador, and we're excited to have him. He will be traveling to South Africa, actually, and spending a month, the month of February, with Michael down in at Michael's place in South Africa, which is exciting for David. I'm a little jealous. I'm a lot jealous, but there you go. I don't have the time or money to do that. So in any case, so we're looking forward to how he shows up and is able to support Ubuntu. And we have, as Allison was saying, Branson Stafford is our new social media ambassador, and he is a rock star, and we're super excited about him being part of the team and how he'll help us right now in this next week or two promote our One Small Town. And then we have a new designer, Rachel Bittersbacher, and I probably am really hacking her name, but in any case, she is a designer coming onto the design team, and very excited to have her. We need designers, we need team members who can help us with all of the graphics. There's a lot of work to be done as we start really moving more quickly into this year of events and the One Small Town launch. And well, in any case, so welcome to those three, and I invite you to reach out to them if you have questions that pertain to their area of expertise. And look for Branson, of course, on Facebook, and reach out to him. So, well, and the other social medias as well. Okay, so the team members that are still needed, have you changed slides?
Yes, I have changed slides, and just a shout out, Branson is with us tonight on our call, so he's typing away in the chat box too.
Great, perfect, okay. So we are looking for a financial ambassador. Kirk Biddlesbacher has been our financial ambassador, and he has expressed a clarification for himself of what he really wants to be doing in and he's still very much part of the team, but he's would like to step away from the financial piece. So if you are somebody who is very efficient with financial things and want to be part of our team, please step up and let us know about you. Kirk will absolutely be here to support the transitional space. He's expressed his desire to be doing other things. We're still looking for a healthcare ambassador, so if you have a passion for healthcare and want to be part of the core team, that role is open. An operations manager is still open, and science and technology ambassador, and all four of these positions are really key positions, and so if you have an inclination toward those roles and feel like you have the time to commit to a core team role, please get in touch with us. So,
Rebecca, I did add one more. So back in November, I had switched to more of a focus on the educational side for Ubuntu contributionism. So this is going to take an army to implement. So just like a lot of the other projects that we have going on. So if you're here in this meeting or you're listening to the recording and you have any interest or experience in youth or young adult club development, we're looking to build a Ubuntu club for, I'm thinking between the ages of 14 and 22. We're also looking at Ubuntu schools. So as a result of that, really want to focus on curriculum development, instructional design. So if that sounds like you, connect for sure. Also would like to start a book club. So if you have any experience in that or participated in a ton and can give me some insight on how one of those would operate, I'd love to talk to you. And, one of the things that'll be really important as we move forward, we know the education system is broken. So if you have a lot of experience or thoughts around learning and teaching styles, that would be awesome as well. Maybe some things that it's interesting to talk to people, and it's like that 100th monkey. I don't know if it's a syndrome or an event or what it is, but so many folks are saying the same thing now as far as, children need to understand their personal power, as the educational system today is really kind of stripping them and over-testing them, and it kind of feels like an experiment more than an experience. So if this sounds like you, please reach out to me, and I put my email address there as well. And you'll also get an email from me likely as a follow-up to this meeting. So, all right, Rebecca, now I'm changing your slide. Here you go.
Great. No, that's great. Thanks. And I'm so sorry that I can't see your screen, but in any case, all right. So we had hoped to have, actually, what's not in here is a slide for Jeremy, but I'm going to pass the mic over to Jeremy. Jeremy is heading up our IT team, and currently he's working on the website, and he graced Star and I with just a sneak peek the other day. It's not ready for showing everybody yet, but it's pretty darn exciting. So Jeremy, if you would just give us a quick update, that would be fantastic.
You bet. Thank you, Rebecca. Good evening, everyone. I just want to take a few minutes and just, like Rebecca said, go over kind of the progress we're making, where we're at, and an estimated timeline on when we're going to roll this out. There's so many exciting things happening. It's hard to keep up, and especially with 2017, there's a lot of exciting things going on. We have been working really hard to complete the project as quickly as possible, while still balancing the need to set up and design the infrastructure in such a way to allow for future growth. It's only going to keep growing, and we've got to be able to accommodate that. It's really coming together. We're pushing to release sometime over the next few weeks. That's the goal. We won't be able to include all the features we initially wanted to for release 1. However, since this is an ongoing project, we'll continue to focus on enhancing and building all the features that we're going to need for the Ubuntu growth. So let me real quick just go over a couple of the objectives that we're trying to accomplish here with this new site. Mainly consolidation. We're trying to rein in a lot of the different Ubuntu domains out there. It can be kind of confusing, especially for people that are just starting to find out more information about Ubuntu. So we're trying to consolidate those domains into a primary and official site for pretty much all things Ubuntu. And we're also consolidating the content to make it easier to manage and maintain. The individual country sites, so each country will have their own website, for example, usa.ubuntuplanet.org. With the new website, with the new ubuntuplanet.org, it will appear, the country sites will appear to be separate sites, but they're still connected to the main global site and pull content from the main ubuntuplanet.org website. This has the benefit of quickly bringing a new country site online with minimal effort. And it's also going to make it easier to support multiple languages as well. Having this ability is critical as the message continues to spread throughout the world. So we've got to be able to respond to that. We're standardizing on the technologies and best practices used for various Ubuntu tech projects. There will be an Ubuntu marketplace that provides Etsy-like services for Ubuntu members to sell their products or crafts to anyone. There's going to be an Ubuntu BNB, which is an Airbnb-like service where people can look up places to stay all over the world. We'll have an Ubuntu forums where we can have Ubuntu discussions. They can be stored, so we're not repeating the same kind of frequently asked questions and discussions over and over again. We'll have a history and a log of those conversations that we can point people to and continue to collaborate on various topics. We're going to continue to use Matt's global connector, which is fantastic. He's put a lot of work and effort into that. That's the main tool that we've been using that kind of helps bring people together based on proximity and location. All of these services and features and any future service will be tied to ubuntuplanet.org, so we can keep everything simple and consistent. And as you can imagine, providing these features and services requires significant time. So if anyone is interested with the technical skill set to contribute, please contact me. This is an active, structured, and collaborative project. We have some incredible people donating their time, and it's gonna take some effort to get this done right. But let me just say up front, this is not a WordPress project. The interface template we're using is a HTML5 CSS Bootstrap styled template. We're using the Django web framework. But that doesn't mean you have to have specific expertise in those areas, because you've got designers, you've got the programmers, you've got various people that can contribute specific areas of focus. So it's a great opportunity to be part of the Ubuntu web team. Like I said, we have many exciting technical projects lined up. So if you're interested, please let me know. And that's about all I have, Rebecca. So I'll turn it back to you.
Great, thanks, Jeremy, so much. And I don't know if we have, Allison, do we have his email someplace where it's easy to find him?
Yes.
You can find any of our email addresses on the I think Who We Are page on the usa.ubuntuplanet.org site. But if you have his email, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I did put it in the chat, but for those of you listening to the recording, it's Jeremy Colt, C-O-L-T is his last name. So his email address is j.colt@ubuntuplanetusa.com. Thank you.
Great. So the next slide, if we are moving to, actually, no, we're not going to the next slide. So what I'd like to do is pass this over to Susan to talk about the upcoming, which we don't have that much information, but the upcoming events and possibly radio show podcast.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm always grateful to be here. Thank you all for being here this afternoon and this evening. So yeah, finally, we've been talking about this for a while and it's coming into manifestation. I'm very excited that Rebecca and I will begin, but many, many more people will be included in this. An Ubuntu Planet Unity Within Community radio program. So the goal here is for it to be local, regional, national, and global. And it'll be a lot of fun. We'll have a lot of guests. We'll bring people on who are creating communities worldwide and lots of experts in various aspects of Ubuntu. So it's very, very cool. And Rebecca and I were speaking yesterday. We're looking for more than one podcast radio show because we think 40 years old plus might have one audience, and then 40 years and then younger might have another. But we're all into music. We're all into contributionism and moving from the illusion of separation into the unity consciousness of reality. So we're moving on that. And then what I'm very excited about is also creating a day, an Ubuntu Planet Unity Within Community Day, quite like Neil Donald Walsh's Global Oneness Day or the events that have been happening on the Shift Network. So here, it'll be a full day of various panels covering, again, all things Ubuntu, from the economics to education, health, spirituality, all of it, including communities, as well as involving some of the great organizations we're connecting with that reach thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people. So we're looking to plan this in May, I believe, May or June in the spring. We haven't chosen a date. But I also put out that request. If you're interested in events, if you're a musician, because we will be planning the arts and music events, probably for the West Coast this time. But if this is a passion of yours, like it is for me, please, please do not hesitate to contact me also. And I'll put my information in the chat room, because we're looking for musicians, for artists, and those who are just passionate about organizing and spreading the word. And also, if you have radio experience, I'd love to talk with you. So that's it for now, but you know, I'm very excited about it. Thanks, Rebecca.
Great, thank you, Susan. That's fantastic. I'm also very, very excited to be sharing the radio show space with you. So the next slide, if we are, is the next slide for you the initial collaborations, Allison?
That's actually the slide we were just on. So if you want to go back to the slide that we were on, there we go. Yeah.
So this slide I put together for our PR person, Pauline, and I think she had some technical issues, so she wasn't able to be on live. So maybe actually, Star, if you're willing, would you be willing to, because many of these, and if maybe we can tag team it, but if you would be willing to talk about it, that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's, as I was mentioning earlier, the momentum is building for alternative news, for some of these humanitarian organizations. You know, more and more people are waking up and are aware that our Earth is just really in dire need of our support, and more and more people are waking up to the fact that our systems are making us all miserable. And so there are many organizations, as I'm sure all of you know, that are trying to create the new paradigm. It's, you know, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Michael has said that repetitively, and there are several other organizations that are in it with us. And what's so exciting, and how I know that things are transitioning, is that we're moving away from a competition type of interaction with other organizations, and we are binding together. And so, as I mentioned at the last collaboration meeting, we have joined the Conscious Media Coalition, which you can see, that's the first logo there on the upper left, which binds many different organizations together. And we're working with them to just increase awareness of what's going on. And Ubuntu, the great thing about Ubuntu is that not only are we raising awareness and saying, like, hey, there's something not right here, we're also providing a solution, which is different than a lot of the other organizations that are out there. There are a lot of organizations, you know, putting out news and just trying to give people the truth. But we also are offering a way out, which I think is a very special thing about Ubuntu. So we've recently bound together with Collective Evolution, which is a very well-known organization, or what would be known as a quote-unquote alternative news organization, although, you know, some would argue that they are bringing, you know, more of the truth of the news than most of the major media sites that are available today. But they have, I think, 5.5 million followers, and they are very excited about Ubuntu. They believe that Ubuntu is the future, and it's how we'll all be living together in community. And they're, you know, ready to help us to launch our One Small Town project. We've also recently connected with the Awakening Sovereignty Collaborative Network, which is headed by Dakota Kaiser. And he's an amazing individual. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this Awakening Sovereignty. It used to be called Awakening Sovereignty Council, so I keep getting tripped up. But you should check them out if you haven't, because they are essentially kind of binding all of us together, and we're combining all of our resources together in terms of, you know, venues that we might be able to use for events, or content reach for people who are following these different organizations, and or just connecting us with people that we might need in a certain situation for our movement. You know, so if we needed an IT person, that they could connect us with somebody. So it's sort of like starting to live in an Ubuntu way, with these other organizations where, what can we do to serve each other? Essentially, it's not about getting ahead of each other or being the first to get some news out there. It's about how can we all do this together? So it's pretty cool that business is shifting and that we've been able to collaborate to serve each other and to bring this paradigm into reality. We're also going to be working with Veterans Today to broadcast our news about One Small Town, which we'll be talking about here very shortly. Brandon, who is our project manager, is going to be jumping on to tell us about the details of One Small Town, because we're going to be launching here in just a few days. We're going to be launching our campaign publicly. And then also it appears that we're going to be collaborating with BBS Radio. Or Susan, is that what you were talking about, was the BBS Radio?
No, I think that Kat reached out to them, but
Okay.
we certainly collaborate with them as well. But that's not what I was speaking about.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and actually, it's not a done deal yet, but that we have reached out to them and created or started the initial communications.
Great.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, so we, the point is that we are binding together with a lot of these other organizations and to serve the greater good, which is something that really hasn't happened before. And we're building momentum together. More and more people are following us. Luckily, we have the freedom of somewhat of the internet and social media, although that seems to be moderated to an extent as well. But it's pretty exciting that we are linking arms with these other people and organizations who have the same intentions and who believe in Ubuntu. So I do think there are other organizations that are not on this list as well. I think we've got quite a list that are going to be working with us on our launch. These are just some of the big ones.
Star, could you explain a little bit about Veterans Today? The question came in, like the association being ex-military. What is their mission and vision, that group?
Yeah, we were just talking about that today, actually. Rebecca, I know that you were having a conversation. Kat is our media specialist, and she initially made the contact there. And I know that we were having the same exact conversation earlier today. Rebecca, do you want to fill everybody in on?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was doing some of the, so Kat did, and it's sort of a two-way thing. She said that they actually reached out to us, so they are aware of us. They wanted to do a interview with Brandon. They're very interested in what we're doing. When I went to their site last night, I was like, what? Whoa, wait a minute. This is pretty military, pretty outside of my normal comfort zone. And then I was actually, what came through for me was I was reminded that we come somewhere, and it doesn't mean that we don't want to live in a completely different world. And especially maybe, one of the comments today was especially maybe those who have lived on the front lines of defending what they thought was freedom, and then finding out that they've been sort of pushed to the back burner and all that kind of stuff. So the Veterans Today, if you go to their site and you sort of dig a little bit beyond the pictures, which is the pictures can be pretty intense and some of the articles can be pretty intense, but I think if you go there from the perspective of are these people wanting change, and when you read the stories, they're from the perspective of we can do this differently, and similar to collective evolution, giving us sort of a more realistic perspective than what the mainstream media allows us to have. So it was good for me to do a little bit more digging, and I appreciated the Kat reaching out to them and then reaching out. It allows me to not get stuck in my own stereotypes of what somebody is or who somebody is.
And we've also witnessed in the Standing Rock standoff that veterans have stepped up in an enormous way to support
Yes.
change and to support the water protectors and to support resistance against these big corporations that are just purely money focused. So that's great to hear that they were the ones who reached out to us. So that's great.
Yeah. Okay, so is Brandon hopping on? Brandon, are you waiting for us to say, yeah, it's time, or do we know for sure he's coming?
Yeah, he says he's jumping on right now. So I think
Okay.
if we can give him a couple more minutes, he'll be able to jump on. So if there's anything else that we can talk
Well,
about.
I'll talk about the books. Yeah, I can talk about the books. So I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about thinking, and then maybe in the next slide. But Michael came up with a way to encourage.
Uh-oh. Looks like she fell off the call. So I think we're still in Mercury retrograde here for another day. Rebecca, are you back? I can see your picture there, but why don't you go back up to the slide that's before this one? There we go. So I will talk until we can get Rebecca here, and Brandon should be popping on any second here. We talked a little bit about this the last time, but we want to talk about it again for those of you who were not able to be present at the last meeting. We are in the process of forming an Ubuntu marketplace, a conscious marketplace, similar to a platform such as Etsy or eBay, where we can offer, a platform for artists and people to offer services at a lower cost, and with the intention of being able to come together as a conscious community and to have a little bit more freedom, a little bit more creative freedom. So probably by the next collaboration meeting that we have, we'll be able to share a little bit more about the specifics of that. But if you have a talent or a service that you would like to offer, or certain products that you would like to offer, feel free to reach out to us. We're just piloting it right now, and we're in the process of kind of building the platform. But we are very excited about the potential that it will create for all of us to be able to offer. This is kind of a way out of the 9 to 5. If you can find something that really lights you up and that you're passionate about, that doesn't require you having to sit in traffic and sit in an office, all day, that you can offer straight from your heart, from the comfort of your own home or otherwise. That's kind of our aim for that. And then we're also going to be launching an Ubuntu B&B similar to Airbnb, and we'll have more details about that very, very soon. And we will have direct links, I believe, from our website, our new website, to all of these new Ubuntu sites, so that everything can be found from our homepage. Rebecca, are you back on? I think Rebecca is dropped off still.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so you dropped off there. If you want to go back to talking about the opportunity for books, because I think people might be interested in that.
Yeah, and I just have to say that I came back on and everything's different. I can see the chat now. I just like a reset and clear. It's all like, oh, look, there's all kinds of stuff happening here that I hadn't been able to see before. Anyway, okay, but I still don't see the slides, but that's all right. So thanks, Star, for picking up the dropped slack here. All right, so books. Michael wanted it to be possible for pretty much anybody who's interested in supporting Ubuntu to be able to do that. And so we came up with a plan that anybody can buy anybody can buy books in bulk for 33% or more off, depending on the way that you do it. So if you buy 5 to 9 books at a time, you can get them for 33% off, which is, I believe, $16.75. You will contact me. I'll create a PayPal invoice and get them shipped out to you really quickly. If you want to buy 10 or more, you get them for 40% off. If you're willing to make a 12-month commitment, you can get them for $12.50 a piece, which is 50% off the retail price. The shipping, we do media mail shipping, and which is pretty sweet, cheap stuff. And so if you're at all interested in supporting Ubuntu in that kind of way and spreading the word, either by, you can, once you have them, you can either give them away, you can sell them, whatever you want to do. But we've made it possible for anybody in the United States to be able to sell books and sell them for, give them away for really much less than you would normally have to pay. And it supports the USA team, and it supports Michael and his movement. So please feel free, if you're interested in that at all, to reach out to me and I'll give you more details about it. And I saw Brandon. Whoa! Yay! Are you still there, Brandon?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great, cool. Well,
Should you want to switch up to Brandon's slide?
Yeah, if you want to back up to Brandon's slides so we can talk about the big news.
Just so everybody knows, so that Brandon knows, that the map on the picture of the green of the Google Maps picture is of the town Rio Acima. And I was trying to figure out how can we sort of light up how exciting this is. But so this is in Brazil. So just so you know, Brandon, that's what's going on there.
Oh yeah. Hello, everybody. So for One Small Town, if you have not done so recently, if you go to onesmalltown.org, you'll notice we've got a quick makeover done on the site, and there's a video up there. This video is actually a subset of our Indiegogo campaign video that will be launching January 10th or the 11th. So it's something that you can definitely kind of get a heads up and understand a little bit better about One Small Town concept that expands upon the manifesto. So when Michael was in Brazil, a couple mayors were very excited at the concept of contributionism, and to the point where Brazil seems to be, it may be one of the first towns that will try to go online with this contributionism and the One Small Town methodology or structure to it. And so that is very exciting in that sense. Back here in the States, we are on our own path to hopefully by fall of this year, so since we're now in 2017, being able to have our first town in the US get started, and then watch it grow and spread to other small towns. Like I said, the Indiegogo campaign is coming up in about a week or so, and we're very excited about that because the main purpose of this, the fundraising, is so that we can take the manifesto and turn it into the blueprint. And the blueprint is a bunch of specific business plans for things like agriculture, being able to have a sustainable food source is the #1 community project, as well as other projects that are unique or specific to the town, to the towns that we choose. And we will be consulting with a lot of different experts, between like economics experts to tax experts and legal experts, and to actually create this blueprint that's well documented, well thought through, so that we are able to implement this thing in a way that will be successful, and that it won't be something that we didn't anticipate the major issues. So we don't have a town chosen at this point. The goal is to start the Indiegogo campaign. It'll run for about 45 to 60 days, Once the funds come in, then we will continue the blueprint development to somewhere about late spring, that we can release it out to all the mayors to let them know that we are interested in taking applications, and there will be some application that they can fill in to document, you know, why they should be considered to be the first one small town. It will go through the selection process through the summer, and with everything lining up and including investors, then we would be executing this in the fall. So it's pretty exciting that that we are here in 2017, and fall is really not that far away. And so we've got such a great momentum going, and more details will be shared. I guess you know, starting next week, you'll start to hear a lot more news about this in different press releases, different websites that will be promoting us, and certainly on our own website.
Thank you, Brandon. Would you be willing to talk briefly about the investment structure? Because I think at this time we are, you know, inviting investors to reach out to us, and because this is potentially a really great investment opportunity, you know, to not only revitalize some of these ailing communities within our country, but also, you know, the potential generation that income generation that this is going to create for the community and for the investors that might decide to get involved.
Oh, absolutely. So there are different forms of capital that we are looking for. The first one is to help with the administration overhead of UBUNTU Planet USA. And the Indiegogo campaign is really that first start in using crowdsourcing, crowdfunding to get some level of funding that helps us to continue the work. We are looking for donors, or investors is probably not the right term, where we do need our administration overhead covered. In other words, being able to hire people on a part-time or full-time basis to be able to be completely dedicated to this cause. There's a lot of administration that has to be done, a lot of oversight that has to be done, and it's difficult to do on a volunteer basis when people are working, you know, in their own jobs and other things. So that's where like I said, it's not an investment because there isn't really a short-term return of investment. It's more of a longer-term play to get things organized. So that's why the preliminary focus is on the crowdfunding or any large donations that come in that would help to go towards that budget. Now, once we have a town selected, the idea is there's industries that we need to create, and these industries will have a business plan and have investor or capital requirements. So for example, let's say we're starting an aquaponics farm or an indoor growing farm or livestock farm, and the business plan says we need $500,000, and so that would be shown as the capital requirements, and then we will have terms that I think are very interesting for an investor, and it's very simple. It's 1/3 of the profits goes to the investors, and this is very different from a dividend structure where you might only get 15% of your capital as dividends on a yearly basis. By us saying 33% of the profits, we are really saying this is a profit sharing arrangement. So the investor gets 33% of the profits. So as the farm starts selling more and more produce, as it's able to reach different areas and more buyers and consumers of the products, then there's more profits that are made. And so the investor will always get 33% for the lifetime of their investment. So that really is the simplicity of the structure for investors that I think is very rewarding to investors, because we're not reliant on money as we move forward, but we need money now to invest in these businesses, get them up and running to be self-sustainable, generating revenue, profits, and being able to reinvest back into the town, back into the factories. And the monies that we write to the investors as their dividend share, to me, is done with a happy face, because to give them 33% of the money is something that was necessary for us to achieve our ability to get to a no money environment. So I am looking forward to being able to pull these business plans together and be able to speak to potential investors and to get their feedback, because this is a very different structure than most investments that are typically done, but yet the business plan and what would be invested are very much the same things. And so it's very it's nothing out of the ordinary as far as the investment structure. The difference is, I think the payout is just very different than what is conventionally done.
Thank you very much. Was there anything else that you wanted to say about the launch?
Well, just that we are all very excited about this Indiegogo campaign, just because it just involves, you know, every member of our team has a place in this thing as we launch this and as we go forward. And we really do need the support of all of the people who believe in Ubuntu, who believe in contributionism, who believe in One Small Town, who believe in Michael Tellinger, who believe in each one of us individually, our friends and families, to really spread the message out, because this is something very exciting. I've shared the concepts of One Small Town with friends who don't know Michael Tellinger, who don't know anything about you know, any state of enlightenment in that sense, and they're all very excited about the opportunity. And one of my friends came back, her answer to all this was quite simplistic. She's very busy professional, but she said, I can give 3 hours a week, and I can donate 3 hours a week to help with whatever project, because if I'm going to get organically grown vegetables, which are, you know, obviously hopefully better than what you buy in the store, and obviously it's for free, she said that's worth my time alone. You know, the fact that you said you're going to be able to give people money as profit sharing and other free things as the town makes these things, she said that sounds great, but she's happy with just getting the vegetables in return for her 3 hours contribution. So it is kind of exciting to see that people can understand the simplicity of the plan, because it is quite simple, but that doesn't, but that underscores the complexity of what it takes to actually make this thing happen. So that's why I said there needs to be this very methodical planning of how do we introduce these factories, how do we introduce this labor force into a town, and make all of this work to go from theory to actual practice. And that is very exciting as well.
Mm-hmm. And we've got a couple of questions over here. I don't know if you can see the chat box, Brandon. We've got and I'll get to your question in just a second, Naomi. But Brent is asking kind of the classic, I thought we were trying to get away from money question. And then Elvis also has a question about what if a large number of people wanted to join these communities, but the resources can't maintain?
Okay. Actually, yeah, two great questions, and they're actually very much related. So the idea, and this is touched upon in the video as well. So again, if you get a chance to go to onesmalltown.org, you can see the video presentation we've had. But the idea is that when you're living in a town, just like your own town, and your town decides to implement Ubuntu and become a One Small Town, you still have a job. You still do your full-time or part-time work, and you contribute your 3 hours in addition to your normal work week. And the idea is, as we're starting to make profits, we sell things, like we'll sell vegetables, we'll sell things that we make, and they start generating profits. You know, 1/3 of the profits, as I said earlier, goes to the investors, 1/3 goes back to the town and for reinvestment, and 1/3 goes as profit sharing to everyone in the community. It's equal distribution. So you imagine if you have a day job and you're making $3,000 a month, and you start receiving checks from the One Small Town entity, and it's $500 a month, and you'll be very excited. Oh, that you just made $500. You've got $500 of extra money. But as the town becomes more profitable in the different ventures, what if you started to get a check for $5,000 every month? This is where it may sound too good to be true, but remember, we don't need money. So in that sense, so that's the reason why we distribute the money to the investors, to the town, so they can reinvest in itself, and then to the people. So if you are at a day job for $3,000 a month, and you're consistently getting $5,000 a month from One Small Town, you're probably going to make a decision to quit your day job at that point, because your time that you spend is rewarding in the town, and you're making all of this money. And as you start to get free things like free electricity, other things for your home besides food, you start to understand that what do you need money for at that point? So this is a a progression that may take 1, 2, 5 years. Can we to really get away from the need for money? And it has to do with how much money that the town actually can make. So it sounds very strange to say to have a no money society means you have to have an ability to make money. But each individual participant in the town eventually won't need money for anything. You're going to go to the restaurants and you're just going to eat in the restaurants, or you're going to go to the movies, and there's no need to have any money as transactions. It's something that's provided to the community because the town itself has all this extra money sitting there in the bank that it's able to pay for these other goods and services. So this is why we don't focus on One Small Town campaign about saying this is we're trying to get to a no money society. It just asks for a lot of explanations and a lot of head scratchings and a lot of questions, because people are so ingrained with money. It's so ingrained in us from all the marketing, and so essentially we have a consumerism type of lifestyle and economy. So by keeping it simple, saying you contribute your 3 hours, you get free stuff for what the town makes, and there's profit sharing in it. I mean, this is a way to get the conversation moving. This is the way to get people to try this thing out, to dip their toes in, to be able to participate in this and see that it's working. Because just like the example I gave with my friend, if all she ever got was just free vegetables because they're organically grown, she would think that that's a great use of her 3 hours per week. But as we start doing what we say, we actually are delivering other free products, free electricity, other services, and eventually money, that people will then start to understand that these concepts of a no money society will start to evolve. And this is where we'll have ongoing videos and workshops and presentations that will allow people to open their mind more to be able to see that that is a reality. The other question about what happens if a lot of people, and I imagine this can happen, we have a small town designated and we do those and everybody wants to rush to live there. Well, the thing is, we don't provide housing, we don't provide anything in that sense, because we are expecting you to already have your own finances in order, whether it be a small part-time or a full-time job. So if you do want to move to this town, you would do just like anything you would move. You're changing jobs. You're going to change your job from your current town. You're going to move to the One Small Town. You're going to rent an apartment. You're going to buy a home. You're going to be a functioning member of the society or of the town in the, I call it the day job. And then you're contributing your 3 hours per week, and then seeing how that develops to the point where can you become financially independent and not have to work that 8 to 10 hour a day type job. So again, that's another progression thing as we go through this, and there's going to be a lot of challenges for us to understand exactly to the question, what happens if too many people decide that they move in and they all have apartments, and now we've got so much labor ready to participate that we don't have enough projects to run it. I mean, those are some serious logistic issues that we need to figure out. And again, that's what this Indiegogo campaign is supposed to help us out, as we bring in different experts to create these models that says this is what it takes to run optimally. These are the conditions that would allow us to run not as optimal, or get us into potential problems or issues like having too many people and not being able to produce enough things. So yes, it is not simple. It's not a simple task. This is quite large and quite ambitious. But again, we've got a lot of different people with a lot of different diversities of skills coming into this that allows us to really start to model this thing and launch it. And we just have to keep monitoring what we're doing and adjust as we can.
Thank you, Brandon. If you want to see more details about that, go to onesmalltown.org. As Brandon mentioned, we've got a video. Michael is speaking directly in the video about these specific questions, especially the money question. I think the way he puts it is, in a strange twist of fate, money is actually the tool that we use to get out of our enslavement from money. Because initially we are going to need money to create these small towns, but eventually money will not mean anything to these communities, because they'll have everything they need and they'll be so abundant that it's just not going to matter. So is there anything else that we wanted to address on the later slides? I think, Rebecca, I'm not sure if you got to finish everything that you wanted to say.
If we're opening up to questions, the only thing that I want to go through the almost last slide of you and Ubuntu, which again, I can't see if you've moved it to that, Allison, but what you can do to participate and be creating this world that you want. Like you can buy the books, you can purchase the Bolton Valley webinar. Actually, I did see somebody who asked about Bolton Valley. I don't know if we want to address that, but start an Ubuntu meetup or group of any kind, and start sharing the information with people around in your area. We have great resources on our UBUNTUPlanetUSA.com site. I think it's that one. That's why it's so great what Jeremy's doing is combining all of the websites or creating links to them so that we only have to remember one website. That'll be fantastic. You can follow us and promote us through Facebook and our posts there. You can spread the message in whatever way, whenever it shows up. The other day I was at the post office and a guy was talking about having to use machines because he knew machines were going to be taking all of our jobs. And I was like, well, that's not necessarily a bad thing if you don't need to have a job. That, you know, we all are working, many of us are working jobs that we don't like or maybe even hate because we need the money. And if we create this world of Ubuntu, then we don't have to go to 40 and 60 and 80 hours a week jobs so that we can pay for our mortgage and buy our food and all that kind of stuff. So it was an interesting opportunity that showed up while I was standing at the post office waiting to ship books. So another thing that I want to put in here, and I think that it's so powerful and it's so easy, and we just don't even really think of it, but our current paradigm is really based on money. And what most of us here know is that everything is energy. And so when we start putting our energy using the medium of money in the direction that we want to be creating, we start to create it, we start to manifest it, it starts to feel really good. And so by contributing $1 to $3 a month on a regular monthly basis to Ubuntu USA and Ubuntu or Ubuntu South Africa, the changes that we want to see can manifest super fast. And it's exactly the points that Brandon was talking to about one small town. If you can imagine, you know, Michael Tellinger's been talking about our list base, and by the way that we do that is by sharing Ubuntu with one person a month, and it takes, if each one of us is doing that, by the end of 2017 there'll be 168 million people as part of Ubuntu. And if you can imagine that each one of those 168 million people, or even just 1%, 5%, 10% of those 168 million people are donating $1 a month, that what can happen with that money is stupendous, and it's not a hardship on anybody. So that is an incredibly powerful tool that I don't think is being understood well enough, that is so huge that it can absolutely change us. Basically, in 1 year, we'd be living a completely different life because each one of us is donating $1. And just saying, and then, of course, connect with your passions and offer contributions to others, and get involved in your community and say that you're contributing because of your passion for Ubuntu and the concepts of Ubuntu. You can donate more at usa.ubuntuplanet.org, or also Michael's site, which is ubuntuparty.org.za, I think. So thanks. That's all I have to add to that.
Okay, thanks, Rebecca. I think we should go back to our social media links. Thank you. Yeah. So we already mentioned that Branson Stafford is our new social media ambassador, and we are really excited to have him on board. He's sort of re-energized us in terms of social media and thinking about how we can expand our reach even further. And so we just wanted to make sure that everybody is aware of the different Facebook pages that we have and the other social media outlets that we have, so that you can be aware of what's going on and you can follow our progress as One Small Town continues to expand. So these are the different Facebook links that we have. The main page for the United States is Ubuntu Planet USA. So I think that Branson pasted it into the chat, so you can scroll down and click right on that and join, like it, and be able to follow what we're up to. And so that is going to be the predominant page where all the information about what's happening in the United States is. And then we also have a news and updates group, which is a group that I'm an admin on. I think Branson and I believe Allison are also admin for that group. So we'll also post in that group about news and updates as they come along. And then a worldwide group was created, which is really cool because we get to see input and interact with people around the world and from different contributionism Ubuntu groups across the globe. So that's a really fun one to be a part of. And then there's also the Contributionism USA group. So feel free to check those out, like those pages so that you can follow what's going on. Comment, tell us what you think. If you have suggestions, please feel free to jump in. You know, this movement is not anything without you. So we'd love to have you jump in and participate as much as you're inspired to do so. So I think there's one more page of the social media. Okay, great. So we also have a Twitter feed. So you can see that it's Ubuntu Planet USA, and Branson's going to be tweeting out information about our latest developments, about our One Small Town launch. So feel free, if you are a tweeter, then go ahead and follow us there. He's also recently started a Pinterest board for us that you can find there at /Ubuntu Planet USA. And then we have YouTube channels, so OST, or One Small Town videos, you can find there, or Michael Tellinger is Michael T. And so feel free to subscribe to those channels. As Brandon said, we also have the One Small Town video on the onesmalltown.org website. And I would imagine we'll also be putting all the video links onto our new website so that you can see everything directly from there. So we just want to let you guys know how you can participate, how you can stay informed with what's going on. So feel free to follow us on all or any of those social media outlets, and we look forward to interacting with you there online.
Great.
So, I know there was a question earlier about Bolton Valley that I'd like to address. So Bolton Valley is still an Ubuntu-based community, and the One Small Town plan of action is a little bit different than starting with intentional communities that are already formed. We're looking to find towns that already have existing infrastructure that we can come into and help revitalize through essentially using the power of the people, the power of the unification of the people coming together to revitalize the town through community projects. So Bolton Valley is somewhere that you can go visit, and they have a hotel there called Lotus Lodge Inn. And so if you're interested in going there and seeing how they're all interacting together, it's a pretty good sized community there, and they all live and work according to the contributionism principles. So they haven't gone away, they're still there, but we are just shifting gears slightly in terms of a plan of action to begin to truly implement Ubuntu into this country in a way that will be the most beneficial. And we're starting with the communities and the towns that are really ailing the most. So feel free to go to Lotus Lodge Inn. .com, I think it is, or Google Lotus Lodge Inn, and you can connect with them via email or give them a call. They are still there. And we also have the Green Fire community, which is in Athens, Ohio. and they are also an Ubuntu-based community. They work together and they sell products at their local farmers market. And so we have those two communities that are actively functioning. And then by the middle of this year, we should have at least one small town that we're focused on launching and getting going. So were there any other questions? I think we tried to answer them along the way. Allison, did you catch any other questions that we may have missed?
I believe you addressed all of the ones that I saw come through, or they were addressed in the chat. So I think
Okay.
we're good.
Okay, great. Okay. Well, we thank you all so much for joining us. Allison, do you want to go over the details of how they can connect with us the next time around?
Absolutely. So we sort of switched the Sunday that we're hosting our collaboration meetings, and if you're wondering what that is, it's exactly the meeting that you're on. We want to come together on a monthly basis to provide updates and information on how you can become involved. So please, if you are passionate about this movement, we are a force of about 12 core people, and then we have some ancillary folks who are helping support this. But we are in need of more folks on the ground. Like Rebecca said, if you're interested in becoming a state coordinator, we need as many people as possible in support of getting this message out, getting people to understand what contributionism is, supporting one small town. And every month we're going to be providing for you updates and ways to get involved and progress on the One Small Town movement. So from for the year of 2017, we are going to be meeting the second Sunday of the month. So next month it's February 12th. Oh, it shouldn't say 2016, it should say 2017. And it's at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We'll always have it the same time in the evening. Here's the great thing. Once you're registered, like if you're here tonight, you have a registration link. If you've done that, you're going to continue to receive the announcements for the next meeting about 24 hours before February 12th. So February 11th at 7 p.m. you should receive an email reminder. However, you may want to jot it down because sometimes 24 hours isn't enough for you to set your schedule to attend live. However, you will always receive the recorded link through a follow-up email from me. So, you know, we ask that you push this invitation out to your friends on Facebook. If that's how you found it, you can also share the notes that you'll receive. The notes, along with the recording, especially the notes that you'll receive from this meeting, all of those social media links you should be able to hyperlink out to. So please share just the notes with your friends and let them know that that we have ways to stay connected. Also, if you are interested in, you don't know where to start, let's say you have a talent in some way, or you just want to give some time to this movement because you want to see it come to fruition. Of course, if you're interested in you know, learning more about One Small Town, Brandon would be the person to go to as the project manager there. Also, Star and Rebecca would also be a great place to start to say, you know, I have this talent or I have this amount of time. How can I help the movement move forward? We need all the help we can get. You'll also see updates as well on the Facebook pages, and we have our websites listed there for you. And watch for that to evolve as Jeremy and his team works their magic. So we hope to see you next month. We're happy that you were all here tonight. I think this has been our largest group. I think we have over 120 people attending live. So we thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to join us, and we hope you're inspired. We always get a lot of inspiration from these meetings, seeing your excitement, and you know, move forward. Watch for the launch for One Small Town this week, and we'll see you next month. But please be in touch if you're interested in participating in some way with our core team. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.